Hey everyone, this is Red, this is Mitch, I am Alex, and we are the NRL Fantasy Gurus. Okay guys, we are talking positions. We're going to be running through hookers and halves. What are your best options in these positions? Guns, mid-range, cash cows. Who are the best? We're going to start off with guns. Now we're going to go through one each, who we think are the best guns. Now we're sorting it into prices. So your top tiers are your 650k and up. Your middle tier is going to be 401k to 649. And your cash cows, minimum price, basement 228 to 400. And then we're going to run through some wild cards, some extra guys who we think you just need to keep an eye out for. All right, we'll start with hookers. We'll go with guns. Who wants to start?
Let Mitch go. Let Mitch go.
Let's Mitch go.
All right. One of my favourites last year was Cameron McInnes. Look, his base stats were amazing last year. He averaged 50 tackles a game with only one miss. His average is about 60 run meters. And he started, doing a bit of playmaking, a bit more running. He actually broke his ankle, where was it, round 23 or 22 last year? But he's, got to be consideration when we talk about guns. The only downside of McInnes this year is Isaac Luke.
Yeah.
Now he is captain of the Dragons, and I know they still want to play him 80 minutes, so they're talking about maybe moving him out to the edge, which could potentially be good, because then, potentially he's getting more run meters, more break tackles, more offloads.
There's also talks of lock. But either way, any sort of positional change, as long as he plays 80.
But yeah, so it has potential upside where, those base stats, offloads, break tackles go up, run meters go up. Potentially, depending on where they are in the game, what they need, he could lose minutes. He could lose, if he gets pushed to the edge, he might lose that defensive workload. So it's a bit of risk there at the moment.
Yeah, I really like McInnes. Pretty much all these guns, you can't go wrong with hooker position of the guns. And there's three standouts. You like McInnes, I like Cook. Most expensive hooker in the game. Pretty obvious choice, 14% of teams already. He's second most expensive in fantasy, obviously behind Mr. Payne Haas. No one is more expensive. We did a bit of a running vote on Instagram last week. McInnes versus Cook. Cook just edged him, not to brag. He was fourth in try assists last year, in 18 try assists, so he really stepped up that part of his game.
Murray had quite the combination up there.
Murray really runs off him, makes him look good. He sort of lost a bit in run meters with under Wayne Bennett last year, but I think he made up for it in different aspects of his game, like forced dropouts, and he had 8 forced dropouts for last year too. So he's improved in certain aspects of his game, and we know he's got his base stats in him, his defensive work. And yeah, when he does run the ball, he is dangerous.
Yes, definitely.
I wonder who Red picked.
I went with a guy who I like to call Captain Australia. I don't know, you guys probably know him a little bit more formally.
Boyd Cordner.
He wishes. Cameron Smith. Yes, expensive, very similar to Cameron McInnes at 907, not quite 900. Now realistically with either of these hookers, all three, doesn't matter how you look at it, they're all great options. Cam Smith has the one benefit that he kicks the goals too. The only downfall, and I'm actually going to use a caution on Cam Smith, he could lose minutes, getting a bit older, a bit long in the tooth. He could end up at a 7, depending on where we go with this. He could just be a halfback, which is a lot less defensive work, which is Cam Smith's bread and butter. The other upside though, no origin. He's ruled it out, he's done with it. They tried to get him back last year, he couldn't get it done, so during that period you're safe. Whereas your mate, not so much.
Not so much. Safe with McInnes as well.
Yeah, 8.5% of people have got Cam Smith too, so...
That's surprising.
I found that surprising too. I thought it'd be a lot lower, considering what you have on offer over here. But I think Origin does play a part in that. I think it is an important factor, especially for those like us who are just going for that overall score.
Look, these guys are very obvious picks. We know this. Last year, 63 average, 62.7 average. So they're the three guys.
Yeah.
We'll go to mid tiers. Maybe have a bit more of a surprise there. I'll start with this one. Danny Levi is in 2% of teams. So
surprising.
Not many people like him. 518k. Now he's just left the Knights. He's gone to Manly. He's the only listed hooker in the Manly squad in the fantasy app, if you see. So I guarantee he will play 80 minutes. There is no competition in Manly.
Wowzers.
I guarantee.
Can we throw a lazy 5
No
on
cuss, no nothing. I
Wow.
will not. But Last year, when he did play over 70 minutes for the Knights, he averaged 44 tackles and he averaged over 50 points. So he really impressed me with those games that he did actually get minutes in. He will get that at Manly, so I really like him. And at 518k, I think go wrong with him.
It's a cheap man.
It's cheap, man. And he had some really great games last year. I know he carved Parramatta up twice last year, but he also had some, not say bad games, but quiet games. So
I think he just needs that game. He needs to settle into the game. He's a base stat guy. I think he'll just make those tackles.
I think you're probably a 40, 45 point a week kind of guy. So yeah, if you've got that money spare, it's a good option.
He'll make you money, I guarantee.
Wow.
Wow.
There's 2
I
guarantees.
guarantee. I'm throwing him out.
2 guarantees. Wow. Anyway.
We're still on the first position.
We are. I can't wait to see what you do with the rest of them. Nervous times. Well, I'm going to go next. We seem to be having this kind of order, anti-clockwise, if you will. I've gone with Appy Coruscant, back at the Panthers, 493k.
Really like him this year.
They got rid of Wade Egan, they shipped him off. He's gone to the Warriors, and Appy Coruscant back at his favourite place.
Got rid of Qatar as well.
Yeah, they cleared a lot of room, and there doesn't really seem to be much competition going on. They had Kenny. He did alright, it was alright, but I think Appy Coruscant is going to provide that.
There is an injury
that
cloud
solidness.
with Kenny as well.
And I don't know, I just think Coruscant, at least for the first couple of weeks, should be playing 80. And if he can do really well with that, Ivan Cleary would be kind of crazy to sort of take that away.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if he can develop that really good combination with young Cleary and another one of the halves that they've got over there. Got a pretty decent forward pack. A lot of things going up for maybe Coruscant. And a lot of people have seen that too. So there's 16% of teams. And his break-even's 34, which isn't really too bad. If he plays 60 minutes, he should crack that. So, happy Coruscant.
No, I like that. I really do like that.
He's been in all of my 45 teams that I've created so far in the last week. So
these are rookie numbers. You gotta get those numbers.
Sorry, I haven't been changing that much this week. I kind of like the team that I have. Mitch, who are you liking for mid-tier?
Mine's actually last year. He would have been in the top tier, but he had an injury-riddled season. Jake Friend. 612k. His average was still 50.8. Break even for round 1, 42, and he's in 8.7% of teams. Now, what I found interesting about him last year, and he didn't do this a lot, but when he actually completed a game, his average was 77 points.
He had a couple of 90s in there from memory.
He had I think it was a 92 and an 87 or something.
Crazy numbers.
So, if you can get a full season out of him in 80 minutes, like at that price, that's an absolute steal. But obviously, I just mentioned very, very injury prone.
Yeah.
And they kind of had a young man, Verrills, who kind of burst on the scene and played really well. So
take some minutes from him.
We don't know how the 17 is going to be, so he's a bit of a caution. But if he's alone 80 minutes, he's been in a few of my teams, so someone I'm definitely keeping an eye on at this stage.
Could get gun points for mid-tier price.
Yeah.
Love Friend, he's in my team also. Okay, let's go to the cash cow hookers, so up to 401k. And one that just sneaks in is my guy, Blake Brayley, in 24% of teams, 400k. I just snuck him in there. Now,
Bias.
okay,
All
I'm
right,
biased too.
Where's Reed Marnie?
Killing it. Keep it going, man.
Most tackles in the NRL last season. But I love Brayley. I think he's a young guy. He's probably a bit undersized like his brother, but like, his only competition really at the Sharks this year is Captain King, who's come over from Parramatta. Yeah, I didn't like that we bought him either.
Good job, King.
But I'm hoping to see at least 60 minutes from him. His best points last year was 43 points in a 58-minute game. Now, he played 80 once, he only scored 40. So that's the only sort of game we have to go off with an 80-minute game from his. Not great, but look, at that price, he should still make money. If he averages that 40 points a game, he'll make 64,000 in 3 weeks. So I think there's a few price rises in him. I think he's a good player to pick up at the start of the year. At least see how he goes.
He's been in every team I've done so far. So
Same.
Alright, so moving on to, let's go Mitch.
You already broke the way. I was supposed to
Yeah,
go first, but now Mitch is going.
sorry.
Yeah, no, you know.
okay, this one's an interesting one. Harry Grant, Storm, Tigers. There's talk of a trade. So obviously he's with Melbourne. If he's with Melbourne, don't touch him. If he goes to Tigers, it's not even a guarantee to touch him. His break even will be his break even for round 1 is 17, and he's in 16% of teams already. So he's apparently the heir apparent to Cameron Smith, and they're really grooming him, and they've got big raps. That's why they only want to loan him to the Tigers for a year. But the NRL's kind of putting a few roadblocks up on this potential trade, so it's a bit of a wait and see what happens there.
It's setting a precedence. Once it happens, it's going to happen a lot more. So I think that's probably why these roadblocks are replaced. I just think he should be, if he does go to the Tigers, having there, obviously, the minute they list him as a starter, he's going to be making money from that day. If you can bring him in, whatever the day that is, whatever round that is, the day that happens, bring him in. At 246, I think he is, 249, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
If you get a starting hooker at baseball price,
Just get it done.
Yeah,
100%.
guaranteed cash cow.
Yeah.
Well, we'll move on to Red. He's the last of the cash cow.
Well, he almost skipped me. He wanted to. He really wanted to, but I'm going to drag this out a little bit longer. So the cash cow, as I mentioned before, I actually said that Appy Coruscant's back to the Panthers. Well, Wade Egan had to go somewhere, and he went to the Warriors. Isaac Luke has been given the old boot. A few injuries over there. Now, Wade Egan was listed as one of them, but they are quite confident that he'll be ready for round 1. But that also means that Carl Lawton should also be ready at the same time. So he's 384,000. 9% of people got him. Only has a break even of 26. I still think, regardless of 40 minutes or 97 minutes,
He's an interesting one. For me, at the moment, he's not in my plans. But that could all change come the first team this Tuesday. So that always throws a few spanners in the works.
So yeah, Teamless Tuesday, of course, when that comes up, keep an eye out on these players that we're mentioning. If they're in, especially in this gun section, you're taking them if they're starting. But yes, we got some wild cards. Wild cards!
Oh, sorry.
Whoa! We hadn't actually pre-planned anything, so that's why I was as awkward as it looked.
Did you see what I did?
Red didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything.
Wild cards, what do we think of Brayley's older brother, Brayley at the Knights?
Rubbish, don't touch him.
I like him actually.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go. Split decision.
Okay.
Terms. Decided.
I think it'd be 80 minutes. I think he's.
I
think
don't
there's a
want
few
some-
cash prices in him.
I honestly think that's the stupidest thing the Knights ever did was going to get Brayley. When they were on a run last year, it was on the back of Connor Watson.
He was playing fantastic. What are they? No one knows what they're doing with Connor Watson. He's
the
a
ultimate
wild
utility.
card in himself.
He-
Like,
he's going to be in the 17.
He's ultimately
He's
utility.
He's guaranteed to be in that 17.
so he's just gonna probably fill in wherever they feel they need some explosiveness
You find
each
Ace
game. But
Okay,
I think
probably.
Brayley still surely 60 minutes at least.
Still wouldn't touch him with your team.
Okay, well there you go. Mitch said it here. Don't touch him.
And that's guaranteed.
Katoa, the Bulldogs, with Marshall King there.
Look, that's another interesting one. I probably wouldn't be rushing out unless it's desperate times. But no, I probably wouldn't touch him out.
Don't like
No.
Okay.
Not a fan.
I don't think we like anyone from the Bulldogs really this year, fantasy wise.
Hopper's not bad.
Their halves are just log jams.
I like Lockie Lewis, but they don't play him, so.
Jazz Tobago,
Love him.
which you can play him DPP. I think is probably a better wild card for the second row forwards, but I love him. He was
Love him.
such a great player.
Love him.
No one works harder on the field for base stats. So
He's been in quite a few of my teams, but he's under an injury cloud for round 1, so
might
let's
best
see.
week one. Yeah, so, but if he is in week 1, I think he'll definitely be in my team. Okay, so we've done hookers, guns, mid-range, cash cows. Let's move on to another position. Halves. Now, Red, I told you before. I'll let you go this time. Start her off.
Wow.
Here's your half gun.
Gun. As much as it pains me to say and I have to look across at this man and admit it myself, Mitchell Moses is my pick for the halves gun. Not quite up there with the DCEs of the halves world in terms of price. Also not with points, but not far off. 760,000. He's in 16% of teams, so there's a lot of people out there who agree with me. Man's going to be kicking goals. He also has now one of the best weapons that has come out of the Tigers, in Ryan Madison.
Yeah.
That man can hit a line. Whoa.
Yeah.
He was number 1 for try assists last year, right? So Mitchell Moses, I think it's something like 25 try assists. He's going to get more than that this year. And that's my guarantee.
Wow.
More than 25 try assists, and I guarantee you at least 6 of them go to Ryan Madison.
I'll take that.
You'll take that? All right.
Well,
Yeah, I just average kick meters 362 a game.
Yeah.
That is 18 points a game just from kicking the damn ball.
I thought as well. I love him. And I think a lot of people can see there's like 16% ownership. because everyone, and you should be looking at Cleary and DCE, which we're about to go into ourselves.
Spoilers.
Sorry. But he's that good next. You're going to get similar points each week, and he's not going to break the bank like those two. So I think that's a great option.
Because Mitch already spoiled it. Who you got, Mitch?
Not those two. Anthony Milford.
Ugh.
Of course, Daly Cherry Evans, the most expensive half in the game, coming in at a whopping 823,000. And to be honest,
You think he's worth that?
I think he's generally worth that. Now, they're a bit of a basket case. They've got a very talented team at the moment. That's also very up. They've got a lot of injuries for round one.
Slim on like, the last few years, they've been very slim with depth.
Well, the talk is they're going to play Dylan Walker at 5'8", and this is why I absolutely love DCE. I've never seen Dylan Walker kick the ball. So he should be putting up over 20 points a week in kick meters.
The base stat freak.
I think just in base stats each week he's probably going to get 50, 60 points. Then you add in the try assists and tries and dropouts, 40-20s. He got a shitload of 40-20s last year. So
What impresses me the most about this game is his tackle. Like he'll get close to 20 tackles a game too. Like he really gets into it. He's not like your Cody Walker who had -8.
what's with the drive-by?
Yeah, you know how I feel about Cody Walker. Well, just like you two, I'm going an obvious pick with a guy that goal kicks, is a base stat hog, taking all their teams kicking. I'm going to go with Cleary. Maloney's gone to the Super League. He's in 12% of teams. He's 785k. He's a bit cheaper than DCE. I just think now that he's running the show, he's matured a bit more. He's in my team. He's 100% in my team. I think he's the best half of the game.
How many of the 45 teams did he make it to?
All of them.
All of them?
All of them.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Moving on.
We'll move on from him. We'll go to the mid-range options. You're not going to like my one either. So we'll start with someone else. We'll start with Mitch.
I was actually pretty high on this guy last year and a really up and down season. I've gone with Mitchell Pearce. He comes in this year at 647,000. Round one will have a break even of 45. He had an average last year of 44, which by his standards is quite low.
Yeah.
And he's in about 3.5% of teams. Look, Pearce had a very up and down season, it's fair to say, last year for Knights. I guess rocks or diamonds, you could even say. But let's be honest, that Knight spine was not settled at any point. They had Ponga, Watson, Lino, Mann, they all tried their hand at 5'8". So I think they're pretty well settled there at the moment. And it's looking more and more likely that Kurt Mann will partner Mitchell Pearce round one, which I think means he should get, similar to DCE, similar to Moses and Cleary, a lot of base stats. A lot of those kick meters, a lot of that burden is going to fall on him and it's going to free up the other people. So I think he could be a cheap keeper for the season.
If they go with Mann, I think Pearce is 100% an equivalent to the guns that we were talking about, because he will take control of that game. He'll do the majority of the kicking. He'll do all of that, right?
Yeah, he'll have to.
And then, there's no other choice. If Lenor's there, then that does split it a little bit. And I think that's probably where his points started going down when Lenor joined him in the halves, and that sort of diminished it a bit. So, I think he's 100% a very, very good option at that price if he's partnered with young man in the halves.
They're such an underperforming team too, though. It's like, they were expected to make the playoffs last year. They didn't. They've moved on from their head coach. Hopefully they have a better game plan this year. But if Pearce takes over that team like he should have when they bought him, he will be a fantasy stud once again. Mm-hmm. Okay, Red, who do you like in mid-range?
Now I'm going to cop some shite for this one.
Is he British?
No, but probably one of his best games in England. Anywho, Brodie Croft, I know, a former Melbourne lad, now at the Broncos. The man who will cost you 500. Excuse me.
Let me just say a nice thing about Brodie Croft.
You never said anything about Brodie Croft. Now he's moved on. Now you like him.
I'm very, very critical of my team, and I think you two, who know me well enough to know that I yell at the TV more than I jump for joy.
He literally looks like Craig Bellamy in the box on the couch.
Look, when you're used to winning, any hoozles. Brodie Croft, 536,000. Now, he averaged 38.5 a game at Melbourne because he was the kicker. Now, the problem that I think Brody Croft suffered was he was never the man. He was never controlling everything. That was Cameron Smith's job. And there was times when it would be thrown to him and times when it wouldn't. And I think that it was a huge detriment to him. And I think Anthony Seibold is actually going to do great things with him. Because not only does he have a really good coach, obviously not Craig Bellamy like, but a very good coach, he probably has, in my opinion, the best forward pack in the game in front of him. And every half looks amazing, regardless of who you are, when you've got that caliber of fullback. They could make Anthony Milford look like a half. Him, who's an actual half his whole life, he will look a lot better this year.
Just like Chad Townsend.
There you go, Chad Townsend.
Like 2 years ago.
Just imagine that, you know?
Yeah, that was a drive-by.
Yeah. His one negative is
Grand final winning halfback.
that dude can miss a tackle. He's not above 70% in the tackle ratio. So, look, that's his downfall.
Efficiency.
Yeah, but I think a lot of things are up for him, and I think, you know, at the Broncos, he's just going to be a lot better.
For me, I'm not even considering him, but, you know, he is potentially one to watch later in the season when you see how things do work, and it could be a bit of a cheaper option going forward.
Let's pull our drive line. May as well just done it, Mitch.
Look, I'm not even going to slag you off because my next player might actually be shite. So I'm going with the English George Williams.
Oh, so he is British.
He is British, and
Should we do
not
this
much is
segment
known
for the
about him.
British accent?
Don't even do
No.
that.
Worth a try.
So George Williams, I can't convince these two. Let's see if I can convince you. 635k, 3% of team ownership. He came from Wigan, who won the Super League last year.
Sorry. Well done.
Yeah. He's played with Bateman. He's played with Sutton with Wigan. He's British international. Impressed now. No?
So he's like Lachlan Coote.
Um,
So he's half the guys that couldn't make it for Australia. Super duper.
Well, fine. That not up. He's speed. He's got a great sport play. He's got a great cutout ball. In the club challenge, he got 62 points, where he had 130 run meters, 330 kick meters, so a bit of everything. No, still no.
Remind me of a back that came from England and looked good.
There
Sam
was
Tom- oh,
no.
At least Sam Top is out of this. Last season.
There was
Let me finish. You guys.
All right,
let me
all right,
finish.
all right.
Last
Yeah,
season, 14 tries for a halfback. 122 break tackles. 8th in the league for a halfback. I don't know what more I can say about this guy.
look.
He's going to be a fantasy scoring beast.
My thing is, and yes, this is a driveway again. Super League's like a third-rate competition. It's where players go to retire.
James Maloney.
James Maloney.
Like, you can't compare that league to our league.
No.
And I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I just think for that price, that's a big risk.
I would agree, but all his teammates, most of these English ones, are praising him.
Really? You
Josh
mean all the
Hodgson,
ones at Canberra?
Bateman, Sutton, they all love him.
So
They
the
think
English
he's great.
team.
Yeah.
They're all in Canberra. Okay.
They're all in Canberra.
It's probably Sam Burgess didn't go.
But
Maybe that's why you're medically retired.
okay. maybe it's a wait and see, a couple of weeks, see how he goes. But I think if you pick him up early, he could be like a Bateman last year. Mitch, you know all about that. You brought him in at the start, you risked it, and he paid off.
Stop trying to compliment him to get on your side. No.
Come on! One of you. Alright. Do we have any more mid-ranges? Has everyone gone?
No,
Yeah,
no.
alright. So we go the lows. Who wants to start?
I'll go first.
Hey, Mitch.
Mine's a bit of a wait and see, to be honest, for Team this Tuesday. There's a lot of rumours saying that Cooper Johns will be the starting halfback for Melbourne, which is a wait and see. Look, he obviously hasn't played a game yet, so he just had an average. He's 228,000, break even to 16, but he's in 13% of the team. So once this talk and rumour kind of went off that he'd be there round one, everyone's just jumped on it. I don't know. You guys weren't settled there last year. You tried Croft, tried Hughes. It's a bit of a wait and see.
You know, at that price, you take him if he's starting.
If he's starting, yeah, you've got to have him. Look at the pedigree he's coming from. Andrew John's his uncle, his father Matthew. So
Okay.
We're just talking fantasy, 80 minutes.
I'm just
Price,
saying,
yeah.
you're saying throw him in.
Okay.
He's got,
I don't
you know.
Just from an insight perspective on whether he'll start, I genuinely don't think so. We would not have gotten rid of Billy Walters if we were talking about bringing in a young guy. I don't think we would have got rid of him and let him go. to just start Cooper Johns. I think they're going to stick with Hughes, or I think Cameron, like I said before, might even end up there. I just don't think that they're going to give him the start. Again, same thing. The minute he's in that team, you put him in there because he will not be in there unless he's ready.
Teamless Tuesday. Another one for
Teamless Tuesday. So excited for Teamless Tuesday.
Love it. I'll cut him here. It's a split one. It's Phoenix Crossland or Kurt Mann, whoever starts.
You can't have two.
Yeah, I'm taking two. It's
Kyler.
like Mitch, Teamless Tuesday, whichever one is in that starting team, I think you pick up at that price. Phoenix, you got bottom dollar, near bottom dollar, 246k. Kurt Mann, you got at 350k.
If it's Kurt Mann, don't touch him.
Now, it might not even be either of these two. Like, you still got Connor Watson and Mason Leno, like you mentioned before in the Pierce talk. Now, we don't have much on Phoenix. Like, we don't know what he's capable of. He played one game last year, 12 minutes, scored 2. He's in 7% of teams. If he's starting, it was Tuesday, pick him up. He's currently injured. He did I think he has a similar injury to what Brown did last year. Working in the gym too hard and he's got some bone bruising.
Similar, but Brown was his spine, where I think Crossland's his pelvis.
Yeah, pelvis, yeah. Now, Kurt Mann did start 5 games last year at 5'8". When he played over 70 minutes, which is all the games he played at 5'8", he averaged 36 points. Which, if he keeps that average, should result in about 60,000 in price rises for the first 3 weeks. He's in 4% of teams, so I think people are leaning either way. If whoever gets the start, you don't want either of them. I think you'll take Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix is there if it's Kurt Mann.
Well, I think with 5'8" is Kurt Mann's best scoring position in fantasy. So
I don't touch either of them.
no,
No.
not even Phoenix.
Neither of
246.
them. No, neither of them.
Wow.
They just don't find a spot in my team.
That's
I
why
just
we're
don't trust
gurus.
the Knights.
We love to disagree. This is why we are the gurus.
Especially
Red,
just with Alex.
cash cow.
Well, it was either cop out and pick 2 players in the one segment, or it was cop out and pick the best one in the segment. I know which one I will pick. So Jerome Luai, $249,000 in 39% of teams. People, this should be 100%. Are you crazy? 100% of teams. He's going to be at the 6. He's been waiting behind Maloney for so goddamn long. Now, this guy found a nice little stat on him. Every game that he has started and completed, he averages 49 points for those games. So if he's played 80 minutes and at 5'8", he averages 49 points. He can be very electric. If he's given the opportunity to run, he will do it, and he will do it damn well.
Well, is
And
it
next to
mine?
kick out?
It's in mine.
Is it no?
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, come on guys. More than 39%.
I've got some
Those are rookie numbers.
wildcards. It's just me this time.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we got Ash Taylor. Anyone like him? Titans, 495k, 2% of teams.
Look, I don't mind him, to be honest. Last year, obviously, had a few issues off the field, which hampered his football on the field. New coach up there. We don't really know what to expect from the Titans.
Is that what just said? It's not his team anymore. Like him?
I'm so 50-50. Like we say, the Titans aren't that great a team. They got Jai Arrow. They got Jared Wallace. They got Fodawaker. AJ Brinson has burst onto the scene. He's fantastic. Plays anywhere. And he's got Tyron Roberts next to him. Ryan Kelly's not that bad as centre. Knows how to bust a tackle. On paper, they're not that bad.
Yeah.
But it's just, they can't get it together. And that's his responsibility. He's the 7. That's his job.
I think they'll actually go a lot better this year, Titans.
They need to.
I guess.
So we'll put a caution on him, on Taylor.
Yeah.
Don't pick him up. We'll see how we go this first year. The absolute scum of the earth. Cost us about 6 games last year. What do we think of Flanagan at the Roosters?
Like him as a bloke.
Oh, he's probably a top dude.
Anyone who costs Cronulla games is just peaches in my eyes.
Unbelievable. He's in 8% of teams, 533k. A lot of people like him. He averaged over 40 points every game he played 80 minutes last year for us.
He's an interesting one for me. He won't be there round 1. I think Kiri's going to step up a lot more this year. Take on a lot of the organisation and probably a lot more of the base stats. But he will definitely do a bit of kicking, a bit of playmaking as well.
If he's a goal kicker, I think.
If he's a goal kicker, I think that really adds, if he can actually land him this time and not cost the Roosters the games. But, who knows? Imagine if they had game-winning field goals or game-winning conversions as bonus points in fantasy,
He'd never get
he'd have the same
so it
score.
wouldn't matter.
Wouldn't that be great?
But as well as that, like, there's actually a lot of great halves. We haven't mentioned Whiten, Adam Reynolds, Milford, so there's still
There's
a lot of
plenty.
options out
I'll
there.
probably put on, I'll put on the thing down here. You know, just,
Probably over my face.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Alright, well that's it for hookers and halves. We're going to come at you with 2 more videos. Not long after this one, we're going to do second rows, front row forwards. We're going to do another one. We're going to do wing centers, wing fullbacks and centers.
Nailed it.
Thank you. And yeah, so that's this video. And until next time, we are the NRL Fantasy Gurus. Mitch, what can we do?
As always, guys, like, subscribe, comment. We love
What
the
to say.
feedback. Bit tongue-tied at the moment, so yeah, we'll see you next week.
Cheers. Thank you.
Subscribe.